Next year, 2021, on May 31st, will be the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. It's not a pleasant thing to remember, but the history of it is fascinating. And one of the most fascinating parts is and I'm kind of interested in that and have done a little bit of study. And the legend is that an iceberg is what took the Titanic down, and it is. But what's interesting is that it wasn't the part of the iceberg that you can see. There is that little tip of the iceberg, as the old saying goes, that sticks up above the water. But that's only, maybe in some cases, 10 or 15% of the rest of the iceberg, this expanse of jagged, dangerous ice that's below the waterline that you can't see. And it wasn't the part sticking up above the water that sank the Titanic. It was the part underneath that they couldn't see, weren't paying attention to, and ripped a hole all down the hull. And this unsinkable ship sank in 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I bring that up because as we look back now on our talk yesterday about sex, especially sex as a little god and the casualties of casual sex, I think it's important for us to understand this emotional and spiritual component of sex that really is the bigger part of it. The physical part, the tip of the iceberg, the part you can see, yeah, that's what we all focus on. But there is this emotional and spiritual dimension that impacts us at very deep levels. And if we don't keep that in mind, then we can experience sex out of the context that God intended. And again, as I mentioned yesterday, everybody is sexually active if you watch TV or you turn on your phone or your tablet or your computer, because sexual images are everywhere. The question is, what do we do with it? Now, for some people, they have full-on sexual addictions, and those need to be dealt with professionally. And we have people that can talk to you about that at United in Recovery, or you could contact someone at our counseling center, and they could get you to the right person to help with that. But for many people, it's not that dire, but there is still this inability to look away, if you will, and maybe you're participating in a sexual relationship that's far beyond what God intended. You may have it all worked out in your head that it's okay, but it's not. It will reap a harvest of devastation in your life and perhaps the lives of others if it isn't dealt with. So I'll pray that you'll remember it's that part of sex that lives deep inside of us in our heart and in our soul that can hurt us and hurt those around us. If you need to get help, get help. But at the very least, turn to the scriptures and let God keep encouraging you about the proper context to experience all this sexuality that's all around us so that we can all experience it as the good gift God intends. That's my prayer for you and for me. God bless.